Your Body is Your Pharmacy radio show on Desi 1250 AM, radio that listens to you. If you're suffering with diabetes, heart disease, hormonal issues, digestive issues, and other chronic health issues, we offer comprehensive Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments to reverse your diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information. Panchkarma detox treatments are a great way to utilize natural healing mechanisms of the body. Our clinic in Bellevue, Washington offers over 36 years experience in Ayurvedic treatment. Call us for more information about our Panchkarma treatments at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. If you or someone you know is diagnosed with cancer and is interested in adjunctive holistic approach, please come and meet our doctors at Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Medical Clinic or call us at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. Are you looking for quality Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments for your chronic issues? We offer a holistic, wholesome approach to living with chronic diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information.
All right, folks, this is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, and you are on the show, Your Body's Natural Pharmacy, along with my co-host, Dr. Anju Sodhi.
Hello, folks. Good afternoon.
And today is the topic which we have kind of partially covered in the past radio shows, and but today we are going to go much more into nutrition again, and will be focusing nutrition in pregnancy and early childhood pregnancy and introduction of foods in the child, and also what type of food in general population should be taking, like in teenage and as we grow old. All that type of stuff we will be covering.
Yes, because the food impacts a lot on the body, and especially like I got a question from at my office from one of my patients too, like to discuss like how the food affects or what other things affects like the growing children, like in their teenage. So what type of nutrition they should be following. So
right. So folks, if you have a question on any question type of on nutrition or what you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating, give us a call. And to call us at the studio is 1-844-301-1250. To call us again, 1-844-301-1250. And you can also talk to us in Hindi, Punjabi और उर्दू. अगर आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है, प्रश्न है हमारे लिए, आप हिंदी, उर्दू, पंजाबी में भी हमारे साथ बात कर सकते हो. तो आप बात करने के लिए हमें 1-844-301-1250 नंबर पर कॉल कर सकते हैं. एक बार फिर मैं आपको ये नंबर देने जा रहा हूँ, 1-844-301-1250. तो इस नंबर पे आप अपना कोई भी प्रश्न हो हमें पूछ सकते हैं अबाउट द न्यूट्रिशन. एंड जो न्यूट्रिशन हम आज बात कवर करने जा रहे हैं, गर्भवती स्त्रियों के लिए किस तरह का जो पौष्टिक पदार्थ दिए जा सकते हैं, उन पे क्वेश्चन है. तो आप उस बात के लिए हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं. तो डॉक्टर अंजू, तो व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड इज दैट इन प्रेगनेंसी there is actually more increase in demand on the body for the fetuses. But usually what I find in the first trimester, basically we focus on much more on what type of, moms need to be taking prenatal, and their caloric intake can be almost the same as any healthy individual in the first trimester.
Yes, so people has more awareness now too. The women do start taking like the prenatal vitamins before they get pregnant, so which is a good thing. But same time, like many times women come to us and I find that they are taking some stuff, but it doesn't have very good absorption.
Right.
So that is an issue too. So one thing they need to know, like the supplements they are doing, it should have it should be a good quality supplement. So anything over the counter they purchase and they keep on taking, thinking that they are taking the prenatals, may not be that effective.
Right, and there is a lot of good studies available what type of prenatals they should be taking and which one have shown to be beneficial. And usually when we are talking about in the prenatal, the main emphasis is always on the folic acid and B vitamins.
Yes, so folic acid is very important, like at least 800 microgram they should be taking, or then as in the pregnancy the demand increase. So
right, and folic acid is really very important, one of the B vitamins which helps with the neural development in the babies. So early intake of folic acids is important, so they should be just supplementing themselves routinely. And I guess we have a question already on the nutrition. So caller, go ahead. This is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi on Your Body's Natural Pharmacy.
Hi doctor, this is Isha this side. I'm actually pregnant and my 9th month just started this week. So I wanted to check on what special things I need to take care of in my diet just before the delivery and post-delivery.
That's a very good question, Isha. Congratulations first, as you are approaching to almost, that means your baby will be coming anytime this month or early next month. So the one thing is during the later stage of the pregnancy, your caloric intake, you need to make sure your caloric intake is a little bit higher than the early in pregnancy. So make sure you are taking close to 300 to 400 calories extra, which mean couple extra servings, and that also need to be in good food. What type of good food she can take, Dr. Anju?
So Isha, so congratulations, and I will suggest you. Are you vegetarian or are you non-vegetarian?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I'm a vegetarian.
You are a vegetarian. So the protein, like the vegetarians, like they are a little bit deficient in the protein. Protein intake increases a lot in the pregnancy. So there is a lot of vegetarian sources too, which you may be doing already, or you may have to increase too.
And one of the good sources is the paneer and cheese.
Yeah, paneer is good. The cheese is good. And I also, one thing I say that in the pregnancy, like now, if your body demands something, you don't have to think about okay, this is. I should eat this or I should not, because this is your baby's demand too. What type of food the baby is craving.
So whatever also, you crave, that's actually coming from the baby.
So my suggestion to you would be see how your body cravings are, but same time make the healthy choices. Do not eat the processed food. One thing. And try to eat more whole grains, I hope you eat the quinoa, which is a good source of protein as well. Amaranth is a good source of protein.
Millet too. Is another one.
Millet is the another one. I hope you are eating those grains too, not only eating the wheat. Then other thing is all the nuts and seeds has a lot of protein too, and the good the amino acids too. So you can increase the consumption on the protein shakes. I do not suggest a lot of lot of processed, but you can make your own protein shakes by soaking the almond, hemp, chia seeds, walnuts. You can soak those. And you can blend it in the morning with you can use some organic cow milk.
Or sometimes adding berries as well also helps along with it. That
so,
gives
or if in the winter, if you don't feel like drinking the cold smoothies, then and Dr. Shailinder does make that, you can use all those grains, the nuts and seeds and grind it and boil the milk and put some dates into it. Saffron is great too. And as you are approaching towards the delivery, you should start taking some extra ghee. Are you taking some extra ghee?
Yeah, I'm actually a ghee lover, so ghee is not a problem for me.
That's great.
So that is good.
Ghee is very good, and also make sure, if you are not very immune to the fish oil, fish oils are very good for baby's brain health, but otherwise we do suggest flaxseed oils can be supplemented instead. There are good studies indicating the ghee and all these good fats coming from the olive oil and flaxseed oil and fish oils. They help with the brain's development of the baby, not only during pregnancy, but also after you had a baby. So, Isha, you are in a stage where your baby will be coming out and then you will be feeding. So whatever food you put in your body is going to be going to your baby. So making sure your nutrition intake during pregnancy and post-pregnancy does change, and that means making sure you having enough of the fluids going on, because you will be breastfeeding. So your
Hydration is very important. The other thing you can do, start doing it like now in a week or two, would be start eating more cumin seeds. So you can close to the week,
Okay.
2 weeks before, you can start doing more anise seeds too. You can use the jaggery too. You can make a jaggery ghee, and you can put a lot of almonds into it and roast some cumin seeds into it. That is very good too, which you can start taking, and it does help with the breast milk
is
too.
it that which we traditionally call as sund also?
Yeah, you can put the sund, the
Exactly.
ginger powder in it too. So in like the old time, they were using only the gur and ajwain and the jeera, but you can put more nuts and seeds, the protein. So keeping in mind,
Okay.
like you need more protein, so use more nuts and seeds along with it.
And the good thing about this sund, the ginger, is that it also works as a very much anti-inflammatory, and it also is a good nutrition to help with the
Digestion
as well, and bringing the uterus into the normal shape as we go on. So there is usually a protocol that we follow, like 40 days of doing a small amount of sund every day. Isn't that true?
That is true. And also like the old time, like when they were making like the with the water, with the boiled with the cardamom, and women were allowed to drink only that water. And that's a great thing actually, and which nowadays I don't see the women are doing that. So if you can do that, like the cardamom water, would be great for you and for your baby too. And my suggestion to you would be like, do not eat lot of uncooked food or salads, but try to eat more cooked vegetables.
So
now.
avoid the raw foods.
Avoid the raw food.
During this phase, and also because, like I said earlier, when you will start doing the feeding of your baby, so whatever you put in your body is going to go to your body, to your baby as well. So making sure you continue to take the supplementation. That means keep taking your prenatals as along with the healthy diet.
Healthy diet, and also I hope you are taking extra calcium and magnesium too. That's really helpful at the time of the delivery too, and
Keep up
after
with
it
your
too.
greens.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure about magnesium, but I drink a lot of milk and dairy products. So what is the source of magnesium which I can incorporate in my diet?
Usually, the good source of magnesium is actually you can get from nuts and seeds, but the best way thing is you should supplement yourself. I would take, since you are into the last trimester of your pregnancy, and you should be taking magnesium because
Extra magnesium. Yeah, you can supplement it. That would be the best way. Otherwise, the nuts and
Okay.
seeds does have,
Okay.
but you need extra. Like the women complaining about
Like
the
this is in addition. This
addition
should be
to
in
the what you
addition
are
to the
doing.
prenatal.
Yes, would be very helpful because
Okay.
like the leg cramping and all that, it really magnesium is very helpful. It's
and
a
it also
relaxant.
makes your delivery
Delivery
process
a
a little bit easier
too.
on you. So you should take
Okay.
magnesium,
Okay.
and the type of magnesium we usually recommend is a chelated version of magnesium, and you can pick those up from any health food stores. And magnesium citrates and magnesium fumarate and orotates, these are the best magnesium to take. And any other question you might have for us, Isha?
No, I'm good. Just to summarize it, so it's nuts, milk, and protein, and high on calorie diet, which I should focus on,
Right, and
avoid
also
any
having-
kind of processed and raw foods.
Exactly. Adding good fats in the diet is important, and keep doing it, and keep hydration, keep doing breathing exercise.
Hydration is very important, which will help you a lot with the breastfeeding too. Like women has to really hydrate them, like either with the herbal teas or like that. Don't drink like the coffee a lot.
Smoothies are other
That
way
will
to-
that coffee, drinking more coffee and stuff will leach the calcium. So that is not good for you right now.
Smoothies are the best way to hydrate as well. All those, getting all the rich berries in the diet.
Yeah,
that
and
really
in the
helps.
season, the dates and figs and all those things would be good for you too.
All right. Well, thank you, Isha, for calling us, and I'm sure the listeners.
Thank you, doctors.
You're very welcome. So, that was a very good question, because as we noticed that the nutrition demand changes with the phase of the pregnancy.
Yes.
And postpartum. That means once the baby is delivered, the nutrition and the caloric intake does change a little bit, which our listeners have to understand that.
Yes, and I do such when I had my babies, at the hospital, I was given first thing after I had a cesarean, and the first thing I was given was like the watermelon.
Right.
So that is not a good thing. Like I should have not eaten that. And my mother-in-law, she said, "Oh no, you can't eat it." So
that's a very way of thinking of traditional medicine. Like in Ayurvedic medicine, we know exactly what type of
Yes.
food needs to be given. Much more on the warming side, but same time we want to hydrate you. So that's what the idea is during that phase.
yes, yes.
So, what else we need to be paying attention, Dr. Anju, when it comes to the nutrition during pregnancy?
So, like as we were talking about the earlier, the Isha question about she was in the late pregnancy, but like Dr. Shailinder, like when the patient starts, like we were in talking about the folic acid and all the importance of it, and the taking the good supplement which has the good absorption is very important. Then, like in the early pregnancy, morning sickness is the main issue too, which a lot of women does experience. So for that also we have, if their diet is like more standard American diet, they will be experiencing more morning sickness.
So which is the standard, when we talk about standard American diet, we're talking about much more of processed food,
Yes.
lots of meat products, salty products, sugary products, and lots of beverages which are rich in sugar.
Rich in sugar, and that has a bad effect on the digestion. So that's the women experience. It's a hormonal too, but then if the diet is not good, the women will be experiencing
Even more
more.
severe morning sickness. So the best answer to the morning sickness is we have very easy fix. That's usually we recommend a ginger tea, right?
Ginger tea. So first of all, I do recommend, like when people come for the counseling for the early pregnancy counseling, like digestion, focus on the digestion. So if the digestion is not good, we have some good herbs like the triphala is great for the to help digest the food, and change the diet, like eat more whole grains, like more not processed food. More vegetables, and
If you get more nauseous, then we usually recommend small meals more
small
often.
meals more often, and the probiotic is very important too.
Right. When we're talking about
And,
probiotics, then we're talking about very specific like acidophilus and bifidobacteriums, which are much more of human strain, which are much more like human-like gut flora. Body will have, not all the probiotics are the same, right?
yes. So, and then the ginger is really great, like really helpful with the early pregnancy nausea. So you can put a slice of ginger into the mouth too, or like make a ginger tea and keep sipping on that. And also the other thing I do suggest to my patients is the cumins, like they can have a little bit of the cardamom, roasted cardamom, and they can powder it, and they can keep putting that little bit into the mouth is also really helpful too.
So for our American listeners, those who may not be aware of where they can get cardamom, usually this is a spice which is available from all East Indian stores. Majority of the stores do carry, and there are two types of cardamom:
there
green
is
cardamom and the large cardamom.
Yeah, usually I recommend green cardamom and a little bit roast it and powder it, and then they can start putting it into the
And
mouth too.
it's usually very aromatic spice which
Yes.
helps with the digestive system. What else, Dr. Anju?
So ginger is the another thing. A little bit of the tamarind too. That is also helpful too. So, and then there is like lemon. I do not suggest a lot of like the lemon
Sometimes
too,
it
because
can
it
cause
can
acidic.
it can create a lot of acidity into so they may not feel good. So then other thing is, like for the morning sickness, is that do not like your stomach should have some food all the time.
Right.
So if you are empty stomach, you will be feeling more morning sickness or more
That
like
means the acid production is
acid
more,
production,
and
more
you
acid
get
reflux.
acid reflux, especially with the population who already known to have acid reflux. They will probably feel the worst.
Yes, and the triphala really helps a lot. A lot of our listeners might know about the triphala.
It's a very much an Ayurvedic preparation, a combination of Haritki, Amla, and Bahera, and used almost in every household. So that is really helpful, minimizing the acid reflux, and also it helps to digest food better and regulate you better.
It regulates better, and also like because the vata, we need to balance the vata in the pregnancy.
And triphala is a wonderful thing
The
to...
triphala and the ginger, those are the great things to balance that too. So-
Right, right. So now, the one thing to all our listeners, if you are pregnant, one of those who are pregnant, you need to know that there is a more demand for the protein intake, and there is a more need of iron intake. There is a more need of calcium intake, and you do need to take a folic acid and B vitamin. Is that true?
That is true. And for the if like you can supplement that, and you can do the sprout. You can do the sprouting like the beans, because that has the naturally like the B vitamins and the folic acid too. And for the people who eat,
That's additional, I will tell, in addition
additional.
to the
Yes,
supplementation.
yes.
The supplementation with the B vitamins and folic acid is very important. I want to emphasize, actually overemphasize, that every woman should be taking, who are in the years when they think they can conceive baby and they want to have baby in the future. They should be on B vitamins and folic acids.
Yes, that is very much right. And then I would like to say a few things for the women who wants to be pregnant, or like they are already pregnant. So one thing is, as we talked earlier, favor your cravings. So
I think in Ayurveda we say the woman who are pregnant is actually carrying two hearts.
two hearts, yes.
And there is a very particular terminology we call dvau hirdray. That means you carry two hearts. One is yours and other is your baby's heart. So in that mean, when you're talking about the cravings, we usually in Ayurvedic text, it says those are the cravings coming from the baby, right?
That is very much right.
And so the baby, all of a sudden the foods you loved, you might start hating during pregnancy. That's crazy. Isn't that true?
Yes.
I mean, every woman will say, I loved having this particular bean or particular food or fish or chicken, and all of a sudden I cannot look at it.
Yes, that is very much right. And listeners, favor your cravings, and well-balanced diet is very important, which is rich in the protein and the good starches, and kind of like a winter diet is also good too for that too, because like the sweet, sour, and salty foods women like, and I think like
I usually tend to tell my patient, stay away from the sweets. Don't do too much sweets, because there is a fear that you might develop a gestational diabetes.
But then I tell my patients like what you can do. It's sweet doesn't mean that you have to go and eat the sweet like a sugary food, but you instead of that, like there is other things like the dates and figs, which has the naturally healthy sweets,
fruits
and also
veggies can be brought in.
Yam, good starches,
Exactly.
and quinoa. So these all these things can be really good too. For that, and also like the protein, as we talked about. So like for the vegetarians, like we talked earlier, that the more nuts and seeds and the more grains like the quinoa and the amaranth.
Beans are very good.
Beans are very good too. But
if you can handle it during pregnancy, I do recommend add a little bit extra ginger in when you're cooking the beans. Asafoetida, or also known as a hing, is another way to add, and soaking the beans overnight will help to cut down the phytates, which might cause a discomfort in a lot of the pregnant women and any general population who are kind of prone to sensitive to the beans. By soaking beans overnight does take care of lots of that issues.
Yes, and the other thing is like the phytic acid is in the grains, lot of grains and the beans, and that by soaking that helps, and people do not feel as gaseous as if they cook beans just like without soaking. And I think it does help with also with the nuts and seeds too. By soaking, it becomes more easily absorbed.
They are easy to digest. And raw almonds and raw nuts and seeds are more beneficial than over the cooked one or the salty one, because we also want to limit the salt intake, not to do too much salt. Because that also becomes an issue during pregnancy.
During pregnancy with the blood pressure and stuff too. So eat less salt, even though the women do like to eat more salty foods.
Right. And we are talking about, especially the processed food, which are really have too much salt compared to, we are not talking about the cooking which you do in the kitchen. That really doesn't bring a whole lot of salt in the food, but it's the processed food, which where a lot of salt.
When we are having cravings for the chips, women try not to do too much.
Yeah, so you heard it from right from Dr. Anju, who can tell from her experience that chips really do not help. I find it actually leads to other issues of acid reflux and nausea and vomiting. So staying away from the the fats which are added to these foods along with the salt, it makes it very unhealthy American food, which we don't want to. We are here to promote the healthy food within our population who are listening to us during this.
And the freshly cooked, I do suggest that don't eat the like the leftovers, and the freshly cooked food like with the good oils like the coconut oil, olive oil, or the ghee is the best too. So that is recommended, and I would like to say like avoid some foods like hot spicy food should be avoided.
So the lots of chili peppers that shouldn't
Yes.
be taken too much, especially if you're having a gastric issue and all that. So I think emphasizes on the oils and fats. To all our listeners, the fats need to be organic. Make sure the ghee you have is organic, because any regular ghee which is not organic should not be taken.
Even if you are Indian population, they do make ghee at home too. So you can buy organic ghee, or you can even buy the
Organic butter.
which is the cheaper way, and you can make ghee with that.
And we do have a recipe on our website at ayurvedicscience.com, where people can see how to make a ghee. Otherwise, it's very easy to make. I mean, even I can make a ghee. So, telling to our listeners that it's not that hard, just putting the butter into the pan on a low heat and letting it melt for half hour to 45 minutes until the foam calms down. You just filter out the fat oil.
Yes.
And that is your ghee.
Yeah, and always use a deep pan rather than shallow.
Right. She does tell me that, because I think I have done a couple times when the oil did flow over the pan. So anyway, that's from our experience, folks. So we will be taking a kind of quick break, and we'll be coming back, and we are discussing nutrition in pregnancy and post-pregnancy, and in early childhood, and in the older population. So thank you for listening, and this is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi on the show Your Body's Natural Pharmacy.
If you or someone you know is diagnosed with cancer and is interested in adjunctive holistic approach, please come and meet our doctors at Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Medical Clinic, or call us at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. If you're suffering with diabetes, heart disease, hormonal issues, digestive issues, and other chronic health issues, we offer comprehensive Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments to reverse your diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information. Panchkarma detox treatments are a great way to utilize natural healing mechanisms of the body. Our clinic in Bellevue, Washington offers over 36 years experience in Ayurvedic treatment. Call us for more information about our Panchkarma treatments at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. Are you looking for quality Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments for your chronic issues? We offer a holistic, wholesome approach to living with chronic diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information.
All right, folks, this is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi along with my co-host.
Hello,
And
again.
And this is Dr. Anju's voice you just heard, and we are covering nutrition in pregnancy and post-pregnancy and early childhood. We taught quite a bit nutrition
During pregnancy,
during
or the
pregnancy.
first early pregnancy, and also we had got a very good caller earlier. So we talked about the after like the 9th months, or like the 8th and 9th months.
Right. So one of the things which I want all my listener to know, during pregnancy, there is a healthy weight gain in a pregnant woman. And usually we expect like 2 to 4 pounds of the gaining in the first trimester, and 3 to 4 pounds per month for the second and third trimester. So that approximately 20 to 25 pounds of weight gain is considered as a healthy weight gain. If you have an excessive weight, more than that, that's usually need to be looked at, and we
Yes.
need to make sure you don't have a gestational diabetes.
Gestational diabetes is the other big thing which women has to. If women has like that concern, if that is like their glucose is staying more like on the high side, then definitely I have noticed in my patients, like the women, the vegetarian women, they end up having the gestational diabetes more.
That's because of the carbohydrates.
More carbohydrates. So proteins. That's why we say that the protein has like it's very important to eat enough proteins. And for the non-vegetarian, they can increase the fish and stuff. So they
And
can really
not
eat.
all fishes are the same, folks. If you do eat fish, I do recommend eating a wild salmon and halibut from the Alaskan. The mackerel and all those fish are rich in
Avoid tuna.
mercury, and
Yes.
tuna need to be lesser amount. If you do, I will recommend just do not take tuna.
Yeah, and only eat the wild. Only
Yeah.
eat and the chicken should be organic only.
Right.
Eggs should be organic only, and the dairy we talked earlier,
In
like
fact,
the milk,
whole
is
diet needs to be
organic. That is great, but the dairy products, meats has to be organic completely. And a lot of pesticides from the vegetables too, like vegetables and the fruits, especially like if women are eating like a lot of berries or the grapes and the apples, it
Yeah.
has to be organic.
Right. Anything in which you eat wholesome, which includes the skin, make sure it is organic, because anything which have been sprayed pesticides and all those insecticides, you need to be really be careful with during pregnancy. That's not only during. I tell even if you're in a general
and
population.
with the pregnancy, like that, then there is like with lot of other issues. We want child to be healthy, so like whatever we can do from our side, people should be aware of that.
Right. So anyway, now, once the baby has born, like I was mentioning, the demand on the mother has changed.
Yes, because like if for the women who are breastfeeding, it's their demand increases, and then again, like they need to eat the wholesome diet, which is exactly same they were doing during the pregnancy too, but they need to drink a lot of water. Hydration is, as we talked earlier, hydration is very important. It can be in any form.
It can be any type of liquor, not only water, but water is a good beverage, but it could be healthy drinks from any sort.
Like coconut water is great, and you can make the smoothies, and even like the juices. We do not recommend a lot of juices because it's
not the refined juice.
Yes, because it has a lot of
Fresh
sugar.
juices are
Fresh squeezed juice rather than the juice. I still recommend more smoothies are the best thing. So the women should be drinking whole day, some sort of like liquid diet.
The only caution here is when we're talking about increase in calories, just remember whatever your regular intake is, that needs to go up by 300 to 500 calories per day, and that's also in good diet, not in the junk food, because junk food can bring caloric intake quite a high very quickly, but that is not the same when you're trying to eat good healthy salads, or trying to eat some good healthy nuts and seeds, bringing some proteins either from the fish and chicken. So that does go up.
Yes. And the other thing is very important is like whatever the moms are eating, it will affect the baby too. If moms are eating more like the raw foods, more vegetables, but the raw vegetables, or like some vegetables from the cruciferous family, like the cauliflower or the broccoli or the Brussels sprouts, these are more gaseous. So women feel more gaseous, and the baby will be getting through the milk too, and they will be more colicky if they are eating.
Right, and I think the women who are listening and who have little ones at their home, if your child is colicky, that means they're crying a lot and they all the time they're hard to passive, and they feel bloated and all that. So the diet needs to be looked at.
Women diet need to be looked at, and they need to take some to balance the vata, which is trifla we talked earlier, and they can use some enzymes too, probiotics too. And then look at the diet. Do not eat those vegetables, and also
increase the intake of ginger.
Increase of intake of the ginger. Also in the beans too. Some beans are easily digestible, like the lentil usually are easily digestible. Mung beans are usually easily digestible, and try to avoid like the kidney beans,
the black beans,
or the garbanzos. White garbanzos are not that great, but black garbanzos or brown garbanzos or kala chana is fine.
Right. I find that black beans are usually very hard for the lots of the women who have delivered baby, and that really goes very hard on the baby. So, the suggestion could be, if you really want to eat it, then make sure you soak it overnight, and you do add lots of ginger and hing, because that's the only way to take that thing.
So ginger is the friend, folks. Like even if you are eating that, have like little bit extra ginger for yourself in the plate, which will be really helpful.
And the other thing is the good source of making sure like you mentioned, proteins need to be. Then we also need to make sure the fats.
Yes.
Fats need to be even up after the pregnancy. That because baby does need to have a fat, and fat helps with the development of all the brain matters. Remember, folks, the brain is all fat. So, having good fat in the diet will help to grow the baby's brain.
And now, like the girls these days, they don't want to have like the ghee after the pregnancy, just keeping like in the mind, like they don't want to get fat, or like it's not the case. It's like at that time it's recommended. And so by eating a little bit more fat through the good fat, like through the coconut oil, ghee, fish oil, flaxseed oil, avocado oil, or avocado itself is helpful. So it's not bad.
And do not stop the prenatals. The vitamin intake will continue.
Yes. And I do suggest the one other thing too, like the moms, like if the baby is the colicky, they can make some with the ginger, mint, and also putting some cardamom and the anise seeds. They can boil it into the water, and they can drink this medicated water. That would be helpful to the moms as well as to the babies. And it can be used for the babies too, like that with the few drops. You can also give it to the babies too.
The other thing which I find is the iron deficiency in a lot of our population. So the mothers who are anemic to begin with, their iron intake have to be up there, right?
Yes. So that for the iron intake, like if they are supplementing themselves with the iron, that is great. Then the lot of other green vegetables, like this is winter, so saag, like the mustard, spinach, even though it can be a little bit gaseous too. So in that case, I do suggest like adding some garlic and the ginger would be great. But the spinach is not as the mustard is. So
sometimes I find the spinach, if you just put through the hot water, boiling hot water, and it's easier on digestive system. And quickly, as soon the leaves turn dark, you can take them out rather than cooking very strongly. And spinach is also a good source of folates and naturally occurring folic acid. So that also gives extra folic acid to the mother as well as to the baby.
Yes. So that need to be pay attention. And then I think like we would like to talk a little bit about what age, like the food introduction of the solids to the babies. Dr.
Right.
Shailinder, you want to talk about that?
That's a question which always comes. There is a confusing information over the internet, and sometimes some doctors say, all right, as soon you find that you are not able to meet the demand for the baby, and baby is asking for more breast milk or something, and you can't supplement it, then you need to bring some outer source, which I agree and disagree. Sometimes our focus is on that at least mother should be breastfeeding for a whole year, and that's very important. But we also know as baby becomes 6 month and 9 month old, their demand of getting fed is much more higher. So during that phase, I like to emphasize on moms, all right, since your baby is asking for more food, that means you need to increase your intake as well, so you are keep producing more milk for your baby. That's the one way of healthy way of developing your child during the first year of age. But we also know lots of moms are working these days. The parents, both husband and wife, work, so there may be a need to supplement the external food. And sometimes we recommend, I have done with all my patients, all right, make sure you have your milk, don't let your milk go waste, actually save it, preserve it, refrigerate it, and you can give that milk to the daycare or the babysitter in your absence, where they can feed that milk to the baby. So that's one way of supplementing. As for introducing the solids, I definitely is one of those kind. I'm an old timer where I like to say 9 months to 1 year is the time when I might consider, based on babies. Again, it's very much individualized. If your child is healthy, and we usually start with the very one single ingredient of that, you can start. And
and the first thing that you can start with is the rice. Like one thing is like do not start adding several things at once.
Because the allergies can develop.
Allergies can develop, and you will not know then like baby is allergic to what. So nothing before like 6 to, if you can avoid until 9 months adding any like the semi-solid food, avoid it. But if you cannot avoid, then start with the rice is hypoallergenic. And so start with some good, like instead of the buying from the outside, like I suggest like just making at home would be the great thing, like just like the semi-solid or some like rice formula. And I do not suggest like, so 1 week of that, and then you can start adding like little bit of the fruits.
1 week to 2 weeks can be given that, but also make sure you're breastfeeding normally.
Breastfeeding normally, and if you really have to supplement with the milk too, I tell my patients to avoid the cow milk, and they can use some goat milk formula.
Right. If there is allergies known that mom is allergic to cow milk, or there is no, then definitely you don't want to even touch the cow milk. That's a big time. And what happens is during this phase, we start seeing the kids start developing lots of skin allergies.
So we get patients all the time with the allergies, and that is usually the introduction of the solids.
And the reason for that is because that indicates that the child's gut is not developed completely yet, and they are not able to break down the proteins from the food and the different segments, and they are passing on the larger molecule in their absorption, and that leads to an eczemas or breakouts, or sometimes very, very dry skin in the children. So that's the one thing which we need to focus on. If you notice the first sign that baby is developing eczema, and sometimes that's happened even breastfeeding, you've probably seen it.
And then that's again, then the mother diet need to be seen, because like many times we do see the baby is getting some reaction, and then definitely the mother is eating something which is the baby is not agreeing with. So in that case, like all the allergens should be taken out from the mom's diet. And what are the major allergens? Like the wheat is the major allergen too.
And can be cow milk,
dairy,
and sometimes nuts like cashews.
Cashews or the peanuts, definitely peanuts should be taken out. So sometimes eggs can be the play negative role too. So all those few allergens need to be taken out, and then see if the baby starts like getting better. So
folks, remember, when we're introducing the solids, one food at a time for 1 week to 2 weeks, and watch, then introduce the another fruit. And same thing with the fruits.
Same thing with the fruits. I do suggest like you can buy organic like from the
baby
formulas too, from the babies, like for the babies, but try to get the good one, get organic, get in the glass bottle rather than the plastic bottle.
And if you don't trust any brand, then cook yourself. And the yams are very healthy, which can be given to the babies as well, and they provide all the good source of the beta carotenes and minerals and all that. Again, doing one product at a time when we are introducing the solids. So what other suggestions would you suggest, Dr. Anju?
And I do suggest that do not introduce any eggs, any meats until they are 1 year old.
Right. So the animal proteins need to be a little bit restricted. Do you think the soups and maybe a little bit of, can that be given in early?
I would suggest like in the 9 months, like the rice and the lentil can be given, which is more safer than giving any chicken, any meats.
Okay. So the introduction of meat can be waited, but the mother, if you eat,
mother can eat. Mother, if you eat the non-vegetarian food, then you can eat the chicken and the fish.
And the baby will get all that through your milk.
Yes.
So I think those are very nice suggestions which you have given. And
yes, and then do you want to talk a little bit about like how the food affects? Because one of my patients did have a question about the how does it affect for the hormones in the growing up children, for the girls and as well as the boys too.
Why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back after the break and discuss that briefly. So folks, this is Dr. Shailinder Sodhi on your show, Your Body's Natural Pharmacy, and we'll be right back.
Panchkarma detox treatments are a great way to utilize natural healing mechanisms of the body. Our clinic in Bellevue, Washington offers over 36 years experience in Ayurvedic treatment. Call us for more information about our Panchkarma treatments at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. Are you looking for quality Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments for your chronic issues? We offer a holistic, wholesome approach to living with chronic diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information. If you or someone you know is diagnosed with cancer and is interested in adjunctive holistic approach, please come and meet our doctors at Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Medical Clinic or call us at 425-453-8022. That's 425-453-8022. If you're suffering with diabetes, heart disease, hormonal issues, digestive issues, and other chronic health issues, we offer comprehensive Ayurvedic and naturopathic treatments to reverse your diseases. Call us at 425-453-8022 for more information.
All right, folks, we are back again on the show, Your Body's Your Natural Pharmacy. I'm Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, along with my co-host, Dr. Anju Sodhi. We are talking about nutrition. We talked about the nutrition in pregnancy, and went to introduce the solids in the little ones when you have newborn babies. And now we are going to discuss about the nutrition in the children in early childhood through the teenage, because that's also
very important. Like as the child is after 1 year old, then their demand increases. If the women can breastfeed for another year, would be great. I did. But if they cannot, then there is other ways.
Right. So there is quite a change from a baby from 6 months to 1 year. And definitely all our listeners need to understand that and once a child is 1 year old, their digestive system is changed, their gut is much more mature. And by 2 years, they definitely have more matured gut. That means lots of foods can be given just like the way you would like to eat yourself. So when it comes the 1 year old, I think I would probably start introducing more of the solids, semi-solids, along with the breastfeed.
Yes. So in that case too, like sometimes I have noticed in the children, like they have tendency to eat more sugary foods. They like to have more sugar into like they end up drinking more juices, they are like more candies and all that.
I think part of the blame goes to the parents, because sometimes we try to, just
pacify.
Okay, we want to give in because child is just asking for something. And we say, okay, here is the candy for you, here is the chocolate for you. And that is a kind of behavior.
That's a behavior. And we need to understand that if we keep telling them like the good effects of the food and the bad effects of the food and giving them good choices, that would be very helpful to the growing children.
Right. So parents, when we are doing it, remember the basic things is we need to cover the pyramids. That means we need to have proteins in the diet, we need to have complex carbohydrates, and we do need to have good fats for the children as they're growing. Fats do play a good role, but also make sure you are not giving too many simple sugars. Simple sugars are in the candies, chocolates, and starches, ice cream, and all those type of things, which we find as what we call a fan food. Sometimes they call that. This type of food need to be avoided. Actually, what we need to do is make your own sweets at home. I mean, making a rice pudding at home with all the nuts and seeds with a little bit of jaggery or sugar is better than some candy which you'll find outside.
Candy, or sometimes I have noticed like the tapioca pudding at the women, like when their kids are eating, like after one, like the mom buy more like the puddings from the store. Right. Those are not really good. So more processed too, more sugar too. So making something at home would be very beneficial too. And then again, like as your child is growing, so pay attention to if they are allergic to some foods too.
And avoid
So-
any food which you find have caused some sort of a breakout on the skin, eczemas, that need to be avoided in early childhood until their gut develops. And usually allergies can overcome as the children start growing older, and you can overcome lots of allergies slowly, and if you keep following. But if you keep giving the allergens, then you become permanent allergic to those foods, and that anytime you'll take in as you grow up, you will react to those. So that can be an issue on the long-term issues. Also, stay away from the fast food. Maybe do very rarely. I mean, we have all these foods in the fast food chain which are loaded with allergens, and you will react to those. Maybe once in a great while you can do to see if you can handle those fast foods.
Yeah, definitely. And because the kids has a tendency, like when they start going to the daycare or the school, they hear from the other people that they are going to McDonald's or all those fast food like that. And then they do demand, like they want to eat that food too. So sometimes parents give up and they start taking them more often, and which is not good at all.
So consider these nutrients-dense foods when we're talking about the nutrition in the early children. Like proteins should be coming from the seafood, lean meat, poultry, eggs, beans, and sometimes if you are not allergic to soy or eggs, you can introduce. If you are allergic, then keep them out. And fruits as a wholesome fruit, as an organic fruit, should be considered and should be given to the children almost on daily basis. Also, I'm a big fan of giving vegetables.
Vegetables, very important, like introduce more vegetables to the children.
I'm not a big fan of the canned vegetables.
Yes.
I like much more fresh.
Much more fresh. And that applies for the children as well as for ourselves too.
Right. And when we're talking about the grains, I think I would like to choose the whole grains over the cereal box cereal. So
that is the another thing which we need to avoid, like the cereals that is really loaded with the sugars and all the allergens and all the additives and artificial sweeteners, artificial colors,
that need to be avoided. All those artificial colors and sweeteners, the aspartames and saccharins are toxic, should not be given. And also the dairy. I mean, if your child is not allergic to the cow milk, organic cow milk is preferable. If you do have allergies to the cow milk, stay away from it, and then you can use the goat milk or sheep milk, or sometimes milk from the nuts and seeds.
Almond milk can be given too. Again, if you need to see if they are allergic to the almonds too, then almond milk need to be avoided too.
Right, and the coconut milk can be given.
And the sugar, like very no simple sugars should be given.
And also the good amounts of fats. And fats can come from the organic butter, and that's not bad. The ghee is another way to do it. Butter and ghee, they are naturally rich in butyric acid, and butyric acid is a very good source for our gut flora. It's a food for the gut flora, which helps to grow the gut flora normally. Our gut flora needs to be healthy in order to keep our immune system. So that's a good diet, which I would recommend in early childhood. And as we are coming to the last 2 minutes, I don't think we'll be able to cover the diet for the teenagers, but definitely it's a similar pattern to do it, avoiding the fast foods and not to have too many of the packaged food, microwavable foods, and staying away from that type of food.
Because these gonna for the teenager boys, because the hormones are boys or girls, the hormones are changing too. So food plays major role. If you are eating a lot of allergens too, so it's gonna impact the in the growing age to the hormones too. So that is again applies the same formula, like eat more wholesome food, more organic foods, more like the whole grains, a lot of green vegetables. Good source of protein through either from the fish or chicken.
Right, and I want to emphasize, once the teenage begins, the caloric intake can go from 1800 to 2200 per day, even in that, and that's almost like an adult diet, because these are growing age. They need to make sure that they have good caloric and coming from the good source.
And avoid the sugars, because that plays like one of my patient had a concern. I think they need to pay attention to the sugars, how much sugar they are eating.
All right. So,
But-
folks, this is really all these suggestions for you that where you need to stay away from the fast foods and packaged food and eating
And
more
if you
wholesome.
need help, like see us at the Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Clinic. Our number is 425-453-8022. It's in Bellevue, and we take most of the insurances too. So you can see us at the Bellevue Clinic. Number is 425-453-8022. And I want to say thank you to everybody for the listening.
And there were good questions on this today, and I think that was great. So, folks, eat healthy, stay healthy, exercise, work, and drink.